Hi, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about a couple things, and I want to make this quick and simple. Now, first of all, I just wanted to say that a lot of you guys wanted to see part 2 of the human mail challenge thing. So after the mail challenge, I asked my mom, where did she ship us to? And she just told us that she shipped us back to the house, so no big deal. Also, I got a heater from my workshop, which I have to figure out how to put together. And I wanted to talk about the 80cc go-kart today. So we're gonna do that right now. Alright, so the first thing on the agenda is to remove this, and so I tried to use it but it failed. So I'm gonna remove it. Alright, got it off. Now, right here resides the 80cc engine. Let's pull that thing out and talk about that thing for a minute. Okay, so here it is. This is the 80cc engine. Stock form is about 2.5 horsepower, but it's modified to make about 4 horsepower with exhaust, the carburetor, and the intake. Now, my original plan was to actually build this engine to an upwards of like 6 horsepower. Factory is like 2.5 or something like that. Now this is not your typical engine. This is not what people usually use. Which I guess it makes it kind of special, but let's be honest. I've had nothing but problems with this engine since I first got it. Like even on day 1, it was on my red go-kart, which has a Predator on it now. But I remember day 1, my dad couldn't even start it. Well, he did, but it took forever. Now this it's not a terrible engine. Like after we fixed it, like the problem was that the fuel line had a little kink in it. We were able to fix that and it ran okay for a while, but I just wasn't happy about how hard it was to start and all this other stuff. So also this is kind of a weak engine. Well, I mean, I was planning on modifying it, but I would have to buy all these parts for it, which isn't a big deal. Parts aren't that expensive. I would need a bunch of tools for it, like a plastic gauge, hone tool, probably a ridge reamer. I don't have one of those, piston ring compressor, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff that I don't possess because I don't really work around engines. In fact, I don't really work around engines at all. I just do the simple modifications like the intake and, governor removal and stuff like that. Now, I have had a lot of issues with this engine since I first bought it, like I said before. So I'm not going to use this. I also remembered that on the first test run, when I was a little bit nervous about it because it was my first ever real go-kart that I made completely out of scratch. And when I first started it, there was a lot of gasoline pouring all over the place. I tried to glue it to seal it, but obviously that didn't really help. And you guys remember, like I said in previous 80cc go-kart builds, that it was leaking oil too. And also this thing doesn't really have very good compression. Which it's it's way more easier to pull than it was before. Or maybe either it's the compression's not very good or it's just me getting stronger, but whatever the case, the compression's not very good. I'm still going to use this engine. I'm just going to use it on something else. Well, not the engine itself, because there's something in this engine that is actually useful. Like, maybe, the piston or something like that. Like, and obviously the clutch is still good. The clutch is perfectly fine, which it's 2 years old and it's still fine, so that's good. Also, the kill switch is missing. There is no kill switch. The only way I can stop this engine is by shutting off the fuel valve while it's running, and then it takes like multiple minutes to die off, which isn't necessarily a big deal, but it is kind of a waste of fuel. And like say this thing just like drives off on me, like the brakes aren't really the best, which isn't really a big deal because this thing, I mean, it was only intended to go like 15 miles an hour. I was hoping to get it to like 20, 25, but I don't have a new engine with me right now, but I will, and I know which engine I'm going to use, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to save it for another video. And hopefully by then I'll be able to get the chain figured out. I think the chain is going to be okay. I made it like extra long on purpose because I knew I was going to get a new engine. I do like the look of it. It doesn't look bad, and it's really cheap. I could just buy another one for 80 bucks. That's what I found. Well, also, if I bought it for 80 bucks, I could have, you know, put in my modified parts on it. But I didn't want to do that because, like I said, I've had nothing but problems with these engines. So, I'm going to use another one that's better. It's going to have more power. Obviously, it's going to have more power than this one, so that's pretty cool. In stock form. So that's pretty sweet. We're going to have a more powerful go-kart. I'm going to have to figure out a new throttle assembly, too. Because I know which engine I'm going to buy, and it's completely different from this one. Like this one, it's simple. It just goes like this. I don't know if you can see that in the video. But I just had like a little zip tie. Like the throttle cable came through the bottom of the go-kart with a bracket, another rope that pulled it like this. It was easy, and it worked. Worked very well. So that's why we're not going to use this engine. So I'm going to set this engine aside. I'm going to put it in the corner of my workshop, and I'm going to take it apart and see what parts I can reuse off of it. So let me know what you guys think, or if you have any suggestions for this go-kart. I know a lot of you probably haven't seen it before, so if you haven't, I'll show you real quick. This is what it looks like. It's only one-wheel drive. These are the brakes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This video is getting kind of long, so I'm just going to end it right here. Thanks for watching.